Welcome to another video. I'm here with Mathias from Cowowking Bansko, and Cowowking Bansko is a really interesting, well-known place in the digital nomad community. Can you just talk a little bit about Cowowking Bansko and Bansko itself?
So I came to this small rural mountain resort about 5 years ago with my business partner Uwe, because we were looking for a base for ourselves. So I was mostly attracted by the fact that Bansko is part of the European Union, so you don't need a visa. It has a 10% flat income tax rate and it's in the mountains. So for me this was a perfect location to move my base. I've been nomadic before. I lived a lot in Salzburg, and even though Salzburg is great, it's a very expensive base. So Bansko offers this lower cost base, and this attracted me and Uwe. We came here with a group of friends to check out what's going on in this place, because it's normally a winter resort, but also an old town that has been here for 1,000 years and has been a trading post. So we wanted to see, is this working year round? And we spent an amazing summer here, ran into Irina, who became our first operations manager, and we decided, let's start a co-working space here to have a place where we can invite some friends and play board games together. And since then it has been a tremendous success story in Bansko. So while in the first year we only had our friends here, they started to invite their friends. In the third year we had strangers showing up, and this year we had 350 nomads here for Bansko Nomadfest. So it has moved from being like a place for me and Uwe to one of the most vibrant nomad hubs in Europe, and I think this is just amazing.
Yeah, that's great. And so you mentioned Nomadfest a bit there. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so the idea for Nomadfest was that Bansko is a little bit off the beaten path, and people need to commit to come here, because you need to fly to Sofia, you need to transfer to Bansko, you need to find a place, and then you don't know, are you gonna like it in Bansko? And this was the idea of Nomadfest for 1 week, to compress all our magic, to do all the activities that we normally do, to do all the skill sharing, to invite all the cool people, and to have an amazing celebration of the digital nomad lifestyle. And this is exactly what we did. So we had about 60 speakers here at Nomadfest. We had a lot of participants that were doing skill sharing in our unconference tracks. We had a lot of activities like rafting and mountain biking and hiking. We went to the best restaurants, we had lots of parties, and this really introduced a lot of the people that came to the Bansko lifestyle. They now know better what Bansko is all about, and in the future I hope they stay here for longer.
That's great. And one of the really interesting things about Bansko is you've got the skiing and snowboarding in the winter, and you've got the summer season and hiking and mountain biking in the summer. But when is the best time to visit, do you think?
So I think Bansko is a year-round destination, and it really depends on the people what they're looking for. So obviously during our high season months in the summer, where the focus is on mountain activities and going mountain biking and hiking, and of course also enjoying all the cultural activities in Bansko. We have a winter season that attracts a lot of skiers and snowboarders, but then we also have this in-between time for about 1 to 2 months between the winter season and the summer season, and between the summer season and the winter season, that are a little bit more quiet. And in these quieter months people can focus more on themselves. We have a lot of people that specifically come, for example in November, when it's a little bit more rainy outdoors, and they focus on their project. They will just want to be heads down productive. It's also a great time, for example, to play board games and to connect with other people when you're not too distracted with other things. But when I say low season, it's never really total low season in Bansko. So even in those periods we are about 80 members here, which is still probably one of the biggest nomadic co-working spaces in Europe. But it still feels a little bit more quiet and more relaxed during that time.
And how many people do you have during the peak season, would you say?
So I think our peak was about 135 members, and of course you can feel it. So we try to have enough workspace for everyone, but especially in the winter, when people go skiing during the day and then everyone wants to work in the evening at the same time, sometimes it can get a little bit crowded, but so far we have always managed to get someone a space.
That's great. And Bansko Cowowking is Cowowking Bansko, sorry. It's famous for its events. Can you tell us a bit about the kind of events you have and why the co-working space is so well known?
Yes, so as already mentioned, similar with Nomadfest, we try to use events to promote Bansko as a destination and to get people here for the first time. So sometimes we organize weekend events. For example, we did something for travel bloggers, we did something for freelancers. We had an event about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. And this allows us to also expand the people that we attract to Bansko. So my goal is always to have a huge diversity. So I want to have different people here. and events allow us to target specific groups of people. And then of course there's a lot of more regular events that happen at the co-working space. There's some stuff that we organize as a space. For example, Monday is always board game night. On Wednesdays we normally go for group dinner. On Fridays we have potluck. On Thursdays we go to the hot springs. On Sundays we often have movie night. But we also have many things that members organize. So for example, after this short video we will have an event about crypto, where we try to put real estate on the blockchain and share some ideas. Tomorrow we have an event where one of our members is sharing his travel hacks. Last weekend we had about 13 people that went to a festival close by to stay there for the weekend. And I think this combination about things that we organize as co-working space and that our members organize, this is what it makes it really interesting and dynamic here.
That's great. And how long do people normally stay here? Because I think you mentioned earlier that some people have actually moved here and bought apartments here. Like, how long does the average nomad stay in Bansko?
This is really interesting. So sometimes there are jokes that we turn digital nomads into residents. So we have about 40 members that bought real estate here, and most of them spend about half of their time in Bansko and then travel the other half. We have a lot of people that stay here for 3 months. This is mostly more mature nomads that have discovered that slow traveling is much more productive than to hop from one destination to another in very brief intervals. And then we have a lot of people that stay here for 1 month, and this is mostly nomads that are just starting with the nomad lifestyle, that come to Bansko for the first time, get introduced into the nomad life, make a lot of connections, and then explore the world before they come back.
That's great. And what kind of people are nomads here? Is it just like IT guys?
Yeah, I mean, this is when you look at the pictures on the internet, you always see this British software developer on the beach when you search for nomads, and of course this is not what the real world looks like. So we have a pretty broad range of people here. We have people that are artists, we have people that are designers, we have people that create their own content, we have bloggers, we have influencers, we have coaches. We have people that resell stuff on Amazon, we have drop shippers. So it's really a wide range of digital nomad skills that we attract here. But we also have a bright variety of geographic range. We have people from Europe, we have people from the US, we have even people from New Zealand. We have a broad age range. So I think our youngest member ever was 21 and our oldest member was 75. And I think this diversity in all directions makes it really interesting here, because this makes it possible to make connections that are a little bit different than you, and this of course enhances your network and allows you to do bigger projects and to do bigger things together.
That's great. So what you're saying is anyone can be a nomad, it's open to everyone, everyone's welcome, all sorts of different jobs can do it.
Yeah, I think it's getting more and more easy for people to become nomadic. So what the pandemic has taught us is that much more jobs can be done remotely than we thought in the past. And of course we try to be very open. We do have a value system also. People commit to a code of conduct before they come. Our arms are open to everyone, but not everyone is the right fit for this community, obviously.
That's great. So what kind of person would be the right fit and who would be the wrong fit?
So I don't want to make judgments about who is the wrong fit. So normally people figure this out by themselves, that this is not their community. People that are clearly the right fit are people that want to share their passions, that want to engage with other people, that want to make things happen, that know where they want to go in life and how they want to get there. And I think this is creating an amazing environment if we all kind of pay it forward and bring our personality to this community to make it grow.
That's great. And something I noticed about the space is you have quiet work areas for people that need to just focus on work. Then you have more sociable areas as well.
Yeah, I mean, we all have different needs at different times. So I think it's important. This is a co-working space, so clearly you have to be able to work from the space. But we could all work from home, so people don't come here because we have a desk. People come here because they can make connections with other people. And this is of course easier if you can talk to other people, if you have a more relaxed environment, an environment where it's easy to get into a discussion and to make these connections.
Great, Mathias. Well, thanks for that. It's really interesting. And I'll see you guys on the road.